in my life.
The Gorge traps two elite snipers, played by Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy, on opposite sides of a deadly canyon crawling with Cold War-era mutant monsters. It's part creature feature, part romantic isolation chamber. Teller brings his usual tough guy charm, while Taylor-Joy adds a brooding vulnerability, and together they keep the tension alive through clever crossfire flirting and nail-biting shootouts. The film looks phenomenal. All dust, mist, and melancholy sunrises. And director Scott Derrickson stages every encounter with style. But the script stumbles on its melodrama, occasionally feeling more like a pulpy Netflix original than a blockbuster thriller. Still, the mix of monster mayhem and psychological warfare makes The Gorge a standout survival flick. Now this one's pure madness. Primitive War slams Vietnam War grit straight into Jurassic Park chaos. Directed by Luke Spark and based on Ethan Pettis' cult novel, this Aussie sci-fi horror drags a squad of battle-weary US soldiers into a lush valley swarming with resurrected dinosaurs courtesy of a failed Soviet experiment. Yeah, it's absolutely deranged, and that's the beauty of it. You get steamy jungle shootouts, shredded tanks, and giant raptors feasting on commandos. It's both grim and gloriously over the top.
Not fight dinosaurs. I'm gonna go find them, dead or alive.
Ryan Quanten and Tricia Helfer lead the charge, and while some of the dialogue wobbles between serious and B-movie camp, the sheer spectacle carries it. The score rumbles, the dinos roar, and the tension snaps like a tripwire. Primitive War doesn't reinvent the wheel, it just straps explosives to it and rolls it straight into the jungle. This one's perfect for anyone craving intensity, chaos, and creatures with teeth. Ben Affleck returns as Christian Wolf, the world's most antisocial math genius, in The Accountant sequel that actually ups the emotional stakes. When a slain Treasury director leaves the message, "Find the accountant," Wolf is forced out of hiding and right into the crosshairs of an international trafficking ring. What sets this apart from your average thriller is the reunion with his estranged brother, played again by Jon Bernthal. Their sibling chemistry feels raw, and the movie hums whenever they share a frame. The action is brutal and precise, with a few John Wick-worthy close-quarters fights and a sniper finale that's pure cinematic candy. Sure, it's overstuffed with subplots and melodrama, but under all that noise lives a surprisingly heartfelt story about broken people trying to fix each other in the most chaotic way possible. If you loved the first one, this sequel doubles down on everything: numbers, bullets, and feelings. Here's a sleeper sci-fi gem that dropped like a techno gut punch. Companion starts off like a simple cabin-in-the-woods drama before spiraling into android horror and emotional warfare. When Iris, played brilliantly by Sophie Wilde, is revealed to be a companion robot remotely controlled by her manipulative boyfriend, things take a sharp, twisted turn.
First was the day I met Josh.
I'm Josh.
I'm Iris. And the second, the day I killed him.
Director Drew Hancock warps themes of control and obsession into something eerily human about love's toxicity when ownership replaces affection. The aesthetic is icy, clean, unsettling, almost Ex Machina meets Gone Girl. Some twists lean too hard on shock value, but its uncomfortable tension never lets up. It's one of those movies that makes you question who's really the monster, the machine or the man pulling the strings. It's not an easy watch, but if you dig morally messed up techno thrillers, Companion will crawl under your skin and stay there like rogue firmware. If you think you've seen Dwayne Johnson go deep, you haven't seen The Smashing Machine. Here, he ditches superhero charm and dives headfirst into raw human pain, portraying real-life MMA legend Mark Kerr. Johnson transforms literally, physically, emotionally, showing us a man whose greatest opponent isn't another fighter, but himself.
For me, that's strong.
A
day without pain is like a day without sunshine.
This getting bad. This is getting insane.
I know what I'm doing, all right? This is it. That's it.
The film packs the brutal energy of early UFC fights, sweat, blood, broken bodies, but also digs into addiction, shame, and the impossible demand for resilience in the spotlight. Emily Blunt anchors the personal side of the story with quiet heartbreak. Now the pacing sometimes stumbles, lingering a bit too long on Kerr's downfall, not enough on his redemption. Still, Johnson's vulnerability and the film's unfiltered look at fame and self-destruction make it unforgettable. Alright, so Warfare might just be the grittiest A24 movie of the year, and it's directed by Ray Mendoza and Alex freaking Garland, so you already know it's going to be immersive and haunting as hell. This one follows a Navy SEAL platoon trapped inside a bombed-out house during the Battle of Ramadi in 2006. The entire film plays out in near real time, meaning you're right there with them. No Hollywood polish, no overwrought speeches, just chaos, sweat, and panic.
Bad guys trying to get to our position. Inbound! Inbound! Find cover! 1 minute out! We have enemy on our building and all surrounding buildings.
Performances from Will Poulter, DeFaro Wunatai, and Cosmo Jarvis are raw and unflinching, and the sound design will have your chest rattling. Now, it's not a fun war movie. It feels more documentary horror than patriotic spectacle. The realism is so stark it can feel emotionally distant, like Garland wants you to observe the trauma instead of feel it. It's brutal, beautiful, and absolutely exhausting in the best A24 way possible. Kathryn Bigelow is back with another tense political powder keg. A House of Dynamite locks viewers inside the White House war room as an unidentified missile hurtles toward Chicago. What follows is 2 hours of moral whiplash, bureaucratic panic, and looming existential dread. Bigelow directs it like a ticking time bomb. Crisp edits, low-lit rooms, and frantic whispers that crescendo into chaos.
Steps to neutralize our enemies now. We will lose our window to do so.
If we get this wrong, none of us are going to be alive tomorrow.
Idris Elba commands the screen as a defense official caught between orders and ethics, while Rebecca Ferguson and Jared Harris chew through their dialogue like it's emotional shrapnel. The movie absolutely nails that suffocating tension Bigelow's known for. Think Zero Dark 30 with a side of Dr. Strangelove's seriousness. Sure, it's slow burning in places and way more about policy than explosions, but by the time the title makes sense, your pulse will be doing laps. James Gunn's Superman is hands down the boldest reboot the DCU's ever attempted, and it actually works. David Cornswet absolutely nails the earnest heart of Clark Kent, while Nicholas Hoult turns in a chillingly slick Lex Luthor, blending charisma with ice-cold calculation. The story follows Superman stepping into an international crisis where heroism collides with politics, propaganda, and the uncomfortable question, what if saving everyone makes things worse?
He's an it. He's somehow become the focal point of the entire world's conversation.
I will not accept that.
Gunn's fingerprint is all over this, smart, funny, full of empathy, with just enough oddball energy to make Steel feel human again. Now, yeah, it's occasionally bursting at the seams with subplots, social commentary, alien threats, journalistic ethics, but when it soars, it soars. The aerial battles look jaw-dropping, and the score slaps hard enough to raise the hairs on your arms. It's not perfect, but this Superman might be the dawn of a new DC golden age, one with actual heart. You could practically smell the burning rubber in F1, Joseph Kosinski's sleek adrenaline-heavy racing drama. Brad Pitt returns as Sonny Hayes, an aging driver pulled back into the high-speed chaos to save his old team from financial ruin.
Did you win something? There's 20 other drivers still out on that track. Do you think any of them respect us?
This makes me think of Top Gun Maverick on wheels, which makes sense because it's from the same director. And the racing sequences. Pure cinematic nitro. IMAX cameras glued to cockpit helmets. Real Formula One cars tearing up real circuits. It's some of the best action filmmaking of the decade. But under the hood, the story's a little predictable. Redemption arcs, strained mentorships, emotional montages, you know the drill. Damson Idris as the young hotshot driver brings sharp charisma, and Javier Bardem steals every boardroom scene he's in. Sure, it leans a bit too hard on sports movie cliches, but when the engines roar and Pitt grins like a madman at 200 miles per hour, you forgive everything. Paul Thomas Anderson went full political fever dream with one battle after another, and it's glorious chaos. Leonardo DiCaprio plays Bob Ferguson, an aging revolutionary hiding off-grid with his daughter. until Sean Penn's hardliner Colonel resurfaces and drags him back into the blood-soaked circus of rebellion. The film is sprawling, surreal, and shot like an epic war hallucination. Anderson mixes handheld grit with operatic symbolism. The performances are fierce across the board. DiCaprio toggles between guilt and rage like a man possessed, and Chase Infinity, as his daughter, is an absolute revelation. It's got car chases, strange ideological monologues, and emotional gut punches nestled between explosions. Now does it all hang together? Barely. It's a wild tonal ride, swinging between satire and heartbreak. But when you've got DiCaprio, Penn, and PTA firing off in the same movie, coherence kinda stops mattering. This film is a flaming protest sign. Messy but unforgettable. Alright y'all, Fantastic Four. First Steps is the MCU's big swing at rebooting Marvel's first family. And for once, it actually feels like a comic book movie again. Set in a retro-futuristic 1960s world, it's got that slick Jetsons meets Mad Men aesthetic going on. Pedro Pascal is surprisingly chilled out as Reed Richards, Vanessa Kirby shines as Sue Storm, and Ebon Moss-Bachrach and Joseph Quinn bring some real brotherly chaos as Ben and Johnny. Director Matt Shakman dials up the color, the cosmic weirdness, and yeah, Galactus shows up and absolutely eats the scenery. While there's enough spectacle here to make your popcorn nervous, the emotional meat sometimes gets overshadowed by the bombast. Still, Marvel finally nails that balance of family dysfunction and interplanetary wonder. It's Fantastic Four done with heart. Not perfect, but absolutely the spark this crew needed to take their first real step into the MCU spotlight. Tom Cruise's farewell tour as Ethan Hunt is nothing short of ballistic. In the final reckoning, he faces off against an all-powerful AI known as the Entity, a digital puppet master that makes Skynet look like Windows 95. Cruise and the IMF squad tackle globe-hopping chaos again, including one jaw-dropping set piece involving a nuclear sub that had my jaw on the floor.
Your team has been betrayed, Ethan. All your secrets compromised. Everything.
The scale is insane. Car chases, skydives, impossible climbs, and every single stunt reminds you Cruise might actually be immortal. That said, the plot's definitely bloated. It's juggling world-ending conspiracies, emotional goodbyes, and callbacks to 6 previous movies. It's messy, but damn, it's heartfelt. While it might not outdo Fallout in pure structure, Final Reckoning closes the book with sincerity and showmanship few action heroes ever get. Think bittersweet adrenaline, a cinematic mic drop from the man who literally risked his life for your summer thrills. Weapons is the kind of horror movie that crawls under your skin and refuses to leave. It's written and directed by Zach Kreger, yep, the Barbarian guy, and he cranks every dial to 11. Set in the eerie small town of Maybrook, 16 kids vanish overnight. No blood, no bodies, just silence. As Josh Brolin's worn-out sheriff investigates, the story splinters into haunting vignettes that reveal a sinister ritual led by Julia Garner's magnetic Gladys Lilly.
What am I looking at?
Leave the investigating to the investigators.
Kreger packs it with creepy folklore, shocking twists, and some seriously disturbing imagery, like sleep with the lights on level. The non-linear storytelling can be disorienting, and the emotional through-line occasionally frays, but the pure atmosphere? Chef's kiss. It's equal parts Stephen King dread and true detective fever dream. Weapons doesn't just scare you. It messes with your reality and lingers like a curse whispered through static. Only in 2025 could you get a film that's both gothic horror and southern blues opera. Sinners drops Michael B. Jordan into 1930s Mississippi as twin brothers smoke and stack, trying to open a juke joint while dodging racism, gangsters, and, oh yeah, vampires. Director Regina King gives us dusty neon blues, haunting horn music, and a story that bleeds heart and horror in equal measure.
I don't believe in magic. Ghosts, demons.
The supernatural threads feel like metaphors made flesh: addiction, legacy, and America's hunger for soul. Jordan pulls double duty beautifully, giving each twin his own rhythm and swagger. Yes, the thematic layering can weigh heavy. Sometimes you wish King would just let a scene breathe. But when the fangs come out and the trumpets wail, it's electric. It's messy, meaningful, and unapologetically sublime. A bold original in a sea of franchises. And finally, here we are. Marvel's Thunderbolts isn't flawless, but it's a bruised and brilliant mess that actually earns its place on top. This ragtag A-team of MCU anti-heroes gets roped into a Black Ops disaster run by Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. When the government turns on them, all hell breaks loose.
This could get messy.
No shit. You thought you were gonna be some great saviors? You can't even save yourself.
This is Suicide Squad with a brain and better cinematography. Florence Pugh's Yelena anchors the heart, Sebastian Stan's Bucky brings world-weary grit, and David Harbour proves again why we need more Red Guardian. The mysterious new weaponized wildcard, simply called Bob, adds genuine intrigue and menace. The film's biggest flex is that it's dark but never dull, intense, sarcastic, and a little tragic. Sure, it leans on MCU tropes, betrayal, redemption, explosions, but the emotional punches land. If Marvel fatigue is real, Thunderbolts still finds enough spark to jolt you awake. And that's it, my top 15 movies of 2025 so far. From cosmic chaos to Cold War claustrophobia, this year's been cinematic whiplash in the best way possible. Which one blew you away? Drop your favorite in the comments. I'm dying to hear your hot takes. If you dig lists like this, smash that like, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss my upcoming videos.